and welcome. It's Neil Dugan here, and we're on day 18 of the Great Depression Challenge. And today we're going to head off in a slightly different direction to the earlier videos, in that we're going to start focusing on the promise. So the promise is that you can start off in a place where you're suffering from depression or anxiety or perhaps mania, and use that as a gateway to actually find your way through to enlightenment. So the coaching that we do is all around actually achieving enlightenment, and it's done through a process of waking up. And so today we're actually going to talk about the cycle, and we're going to talk about the ways in which the cycle can be converted in very exciting and very creative ways, so that it brings you on the road, on the path, through the gateway, on your journey to becoming enlightened. Now, as I mentioned yesterday, to be fully enlightened is a tremendous achievement and something which is available to all of us, but it's also not that common. So with the type of guidance that we're providing, it will definitely assist you on this road towards enlightenment, but this is no insignificant task. However, for everybody, so this is for everybody watching, is that there's an enormous opportunity to become far more enlightened than what you're actually experiencing at the moment. So what we're doing is we're going to convert this depression anxiety cycle into an enlightenment cycle. So as you remember, we have 4 phases to the cycle. The first phase is happiness, and yesterday I talked at some length about the pitfalls of being happy. And of course this is where it all begins, is changing from happy into awake, into bliss, into contentment, into these very high forms of happiness, rather than the asleep, very dead form of happiness that most people are aspiring to. And I feel sure that if you're watching this video, you're somebody who is looking to convert this asleep or dead state into something much more creative, much more alive, much more willing to go forward and actually express your own divinity. So in this way, what we're really talking about is that we're dealing with an enlightenment process. So it's a process, and I'm going to be guiding you through the necessary steps to make this conversion from a suffering cycle, which is around anxiety and depression, and definitely some sort of manic aspects as well. So it's a cycle around that, all that suffering, and what we're doing is we're shifting that cycle from that suffering into a conscious process, so into conscious work, into conscious effort, so that this energy of depletion can actually become an energy of fulfillment. So very briefly, our four parts of the depression cycle is happy, it's fast, it's slow, and it's control. So we're going to have a look at those analogues of those 4 phases right now, and then tomorrow we're going to go into more depth on each one of them. So the next thing that I want to preface is a very important key factor, and that is that we have a direction for our flow when we're in depression and suffering. And it'll become very clear to you that once we actually convert each of these steps in the process into an enlightenment process, then what will happen is that we're going to actually reverse the cycle. So the cycle will go in the reverse direction, and what will happen is that we will have an entirely different experience coming out of that. But anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to run through them in the order of the suffering, and I'll show you how they are varied from the suffering cycle into the enlightenment cycle, so for each of these phases. So I'm just going to briefly introduce each of these phases here today. So fast is all about action, and if we're in the asleep phase of fast, then all we're doing is we're doing action without any type of meditation around it. There's no sense or purpose to any of this activity. And when we actually change that into the enlightenment process, then what we're doing is we're actually in action. We are involved in consciously doing things. It's a very, very key difference, and it's a big change from this depletion cycle. The next thing to have a look at is what would be going on in the conscious version of the slow period, or the slow phase of the cycle. And of course we're talking about depression there when we're in the unconscious phase. When we're in suffering, we're dealing with depression, or at least being very low or very blue. And what we're doing is we're changing that around completely, and we're now looking at peace. We're looking at silence. We're looking at grace. So these are the aspects that will be engendered when we would otherwise be in depression. Will actually be involved in silence, will be involved in grace, will have a great sense of peace, inner peace and contentment and fulfillment occurring within ourselves. And of course we have the phase of control, which in the full expression of the downward cycle, the depleting cycle, is anxiety. And when we're actually in the conscious version of the cycle, what we're looking at is the process of being fully connected, of being full of empathy, of having wonderful compassion available for other people without being lost in their suffering. So this is compassion without identification, without attachment. So this is true compassion. And of course we have love. So love is the final component that would be occurring in this part of the phase. So ordinarily we'd be finishing up our cycle, running out of control, running into happy. But as I'll be showing you tomorrow, we'll be reversing the cycle and we'll be beginning the cycle with this process of having love, having empathy, becoming connected, having true compassion for others, for the environment, for all of nature. And of course having compassion and love and empathy for ourselves as well. And this is the entry point into our new cycle. This is the cycle which takes you completely out of the realms of suffering associated with anxiety and depression. I really hope you found this useful, even though we're at day 18. What we're really doing is we're actually introducing into the new part of this whole series of information. This is the way out. So we've been describing the situation as it is at the moment with a bit of first aid. Now what we're doing is we're going into the way out. This is the way out of the suffering. And I really hope you found this useful. Please like and share this if you have. Any friends, any people that you know who are suffering from anxiety and depression, who are conscious aspirants, so they're people who are wanting to go on a conscious journey, please share this with them. And I look forward to continuing the process with you tomorrow. So thanks for watching, and be wonderful. Thanks for watching. Bye.